Let's take a look at what's going on with Dogecoin today, guys. All right, so yesterday's video, we were watching these trends right here. We were sitting at around 0.185, my last target, this 78% Fibonacci retracement level. And I was thinking if we can hold support here and or break through that 0.185 level, then maybe we can start heading up to 0.248. So are we heading to 0.248 next? Let's see. So there's a few things. So we're still on this trend. We're watching these trend lines. If we break these trend lines, if we break this trend line going to the downside, maybe we might come back to 185. And if we can hold support here, then I'm still looking at this target up here for now. The other thing we were talking about yesterday is, let's switch. I'm on the 4-hour time frame. Let's switch over to the daily time frame. We've been looking at this falling wedge for a long time on this channel, and I've been saying that all we had to do is just break this resistance going to the upside, and maybe we can start targeting. Technically, the top of the falling wedge pattern is the target, but first things first, we have to come up to these Fibonacci retracement levels and break through them. So we broke through the 78% level just now, or 0.185, somewhere around there, and we're still heading up. So let's see if we can continue to go up. The next target, like I was saying, is 0.248 in my opinion. Let's see if we can come up here, if we start getting resistance and start coming down, or if we can break through it. There is the weekly nine moving average though that might give us some trouble. We're underneath it right now, so we'll have to wait and see. But so I'm looking at this 9 moving average, this blue line right here. Like I talk about in my videos, when we're below it, it's in a not so good position. All we have to do is break through it, kind of like the falling wedge resistance line right there. If we could break through it, then and stay above it, so we have to break through it and then stay above it, maybe we can start getting support on it and bounce to the upside, kind of like we did over here. So we had this blue line right here, we were underneath it getting resistance pushing us to the downside. Once we broke through it, and then we started getting support on it and it pushed us to the upside. So that's basically what I'm waiting for is, or not waiting for, but I'm kind of hoping that we do, is we can break through it or ease into it, and then once we're above it, then maybe we can start getting support on it and it'll start pushing us up or holding us up and pushing us up. So yeah, let's go back to the daily time frame. Let's talk about the volume real quick. Actually, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So when we look at the 4-hour time frame volume, it looks actually pretty decent. I mean, if you zoom out, like just in a smaller area, we had low volume, and then now it looks like we're getting some green candles. This is on the 4-hour though. When we look at it on like the daily or the weekly, it's still kind of low. So we're on the daily time frame now, still kind of low volume, but at least we're getting green candles right now. And then on the weekly, same with the weekly, like it's still declining volume, it seems like. So I'm very curious if we can start getting like, if more volume can start coming in to really break through that weekly 9 moving average like I was talking about. But I feel like there's some pretty good things going on right now. Like I said, on the 4-hour time frame, we are in an uptrend. If we break this though, that things can kind of change. But if we do break it, maybe we'll get support on 0.185. Now that we've broken through that resistance, maybe the resistance will turn in support when we come back down and test it, and then get a bounce on it as well. And like I've been talking about on this channel as well, is since we are under this weekly 9 moving average, maybe we have to go sideways a little bit before we can actually break through that. And maybe now that we're above 0.185, maybe we can hold support on it, stay there, and then bounce to the upside. But I wouldn't mind if we just broke through that immediately and started heading to our higher targets at maybe 0.394. That's what I'm kind of targeting, like in general. So let's see if we can do that. But I'm still a little skeptical. But like I've been telling you, we had a big run to the upside. We started having trouble up here. Put up the Fibonacci retracement levels Let me just show you how I did that. Get the Fibonacci retracement tool, drag from the bottom of the run to the top of the run, and then that's where I get those levels to watch. And so I took profit over here, been dollar cost averaging on the way down, formed a falling wedge pattern. Now it looks like we're breaking out of it. Let's see if we can come back up, maybe up here, and or even break through something like that. Like I said, I'm a little skeptical. The volume's kind of low. I would like to see the volume come in a little bit better, or at least kind of break this trend of downward volume. You know what I mean? If we can start like getting higher volume, then that would be a really good sign. And we kind of are on like the 4-hour time frame, like when we like I was just talking about the 4-hour 4-hour time frame volume candles look like they're pretty decent. They're not like this good, but they are kind of coming in a little bit better. So let's see what happens. But yeah, that's one of the main things that I've been looking at is that falling wedge. We're breaking that resistance, and I talked about it. I've been talking about it. Kind of is back here last year's falling wedge pattern where we had the same kind of thing going on. We broke the resistance. Sorry, let's go back to the daily. We broke the resistance, that top line. And once we did that, it took us a while before we really started taking off. All these candles are daily candles, and it took us all these candles right here to kind of go sideways, then start really pushing to the upside. And like I was showing you on the weekly time frame, this was when we started, like when we broke that resistance, we finally broke the weekly 9 moving average. It took us a couple candles, but then we started finally bouncing on it, and it pushed us to the upside. So that's what I'm kind of thinking here is I wonder if we're going to have to go sideways. But if we start just pushing to the upside, that'd be good too. Like I was saying, if we could break through that 185 level and the 78% Fibonacci retracement level, then the next spot that I'd be really looking at is .248 to start with. And let's see what happens. So going back to that 4-hour time frame, let's see what I'm kind of hoping is, or what I'm kind of wondering is going to happen, is how long are we going to ride this trend going to the upside? Can we continue to ride it? Boom, 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 get support on it, support on it, support on it, and see what happens when we hit here. If we start breaking that support, then that might be a signal that we might be coming back down here, and we can use that to trade off of. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's what I'm looking at. I'm watching this trend line, and if we break that trend line, then that might be a sign that we could be reversing. And then the other thing too is, like I've mentioned before, is when we break the trend lines, a lot of times what I like to do is see if we find support and start going sideways, then we can watch the bottom and the top. And if we break going to the upside, then we still have a chance to go up. If we break to the bottom, then we're probably going to come back down to at least maybe the Fibonacci retracement level. Let's see how far we can go up, though. That's kind of what I'm thinking, is how far can we ride this trend line moving to the upside. Let's see if we can come up and hit a target of around .248. Now that we've broken the .185 level, this Fibonacci retracement level, once we break them going to the upside, then we use the next one as a target. And if we get resistance on one of them and start coming down, then we use the one going to the downside as a target to buy back. It's not always perfect, but yeah. And then also we're at pretty good levels right now, so I don't know how much I want to trade this. Like even if we did start coming down, I'd rather I've been trying to accumulate as we go down, so that way when it does pop up, or if it does pop up, because I don't know it's going to for sure, but if it does pop up, then we can have a good position. I can have a good position if we come back to these higher levels. So that's basically what I'm thinking. I do think there's some good things though. The volume on the 4-hour looks pretty good. We're on an uptrend. We broke in the resistance on the daily time frame on that falling wedge pattern, which is one of my favorite patterns. Yeah, I would like to see the volume come in a little bit more, but yeah, so I mean, and us break that weekly. Let's go back to the weekly. I would like to see us break this weekly 9 moving average too. That'll make me feel a lot better about going to the upside. It looks like we're going to come in and test it though. I mean, it looks like we're getting close. The weekly 9 moving average is sitting at around .219. So that could be another potential level that we either have trouble at that like might, push us down again, or I don't know. That's just we need to like I said, in my opinion, we need to break through this, and then we can start getting much more confident on these targets going to the upside. If we break this weekly 9 moving average, then I'm going to be more confident on maybe even this target up here at around .394. First things first are the Fibonacci retracement levels, though, like I was talking about. Once we break through one of them, then we look at the next one. If we come up and have resistance and start getting trouble, then I'll look at this one coming to the downside. If we break through it, then I'll be looking at the next Fibonacci retracement level, and so on and so forth. If we get resistance here, then and we start coming down, I'll be looking at this level. If we break through it, or resistance, this one. If we break through that one here, if we break through this one, something like that. So just watching these trends, just watching these trends. If we start breaking the trend line, that's going to be like one signal that we might be changing direction. And but yeah, if we break the trend, let's see what happens if we get some support. Watch the bottom and the top. If we go up, then there's still a chance that we can come up here. If we break to the bottom, then I'll be looking at the next one for support, .185 at least. So let's see what happens. Volume on the 4-hour looks pretty decent, but on the higher time frames, it's still kind of low. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like 60-40 bullish, but because we do have some pretty good signs, but I'm still kind of worried about the volume and the weekly 9 moving average kind of holding us down, or kind of making us change direction, possibly change direction. So like that 40%. But I do like the way we did break through that resistance on the daily time frame and this falling wedge pattern. Like I said, it's one of my favorite patterns. It looks like we have like 3 candles. Let's see how many candles it is. Yeah, 3 or 4 candles since we actually broke that resistance of green candles going to the upside. I would like to see us do like a big green candle, get a big green volume candle as well. Then we can get much more confident that we're going to push through. Maybe when we break that weekly 9 moving average, then we can see a bigger green candle down here. That's a big if, though. We're going to have to wait and see. Like I said, when we're underneath the 9 moving average, when we're underneath these 9 moving averages, a lot of times it gives us resistance. It's a place that gives us resistance. So like, let's zoom out, or not zoom out, but let's kind of look at back in history. When we broke below the 9 moving average right here, came up, got resistance on it, came up, resistance, came up, all in this area. Basically, that blue line was just acting as resistance, and we weren't able to break through it. Same as it goes down, resistance, resistance, resistance. This one was a little bit further away from the price, but this, like, as opposed to this one where it was really close, we're testing it, testing, and then pushed us down. Right here, it looks like we're about to start testing it again. And we're at pretty good levels, so maybe we will break through it. Once we do, if we can break through that, then I can start getting more confident on the next targets going to the upside, maybe even potentially that top of that falling wedge at .394 to start with. And then we'll see what happens when we get, like I said, if we can break through this one, then the next spot that I'll be looking at is the top. And if we could break through that top, then we'll have to look even further back in history and look at the previous tops, or the previous resistances. Here's the bodies, and here's the actual wick of the tops. The top up here, the previous all-time high is .739 approximately, and then the bodies is somewhere around .582. So, but first things first, we got to get through the weekly 9 moving average. We got to get through these Fibonacci retracement levels. We got to get through the top. So there's a lot of what ifs and a lot of things that we have to kind of push through before we can start getting that bullish. And if we can break through that weekly, then like at least a lot of these other targets are becoming more possible when we can do that, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the weekly real quick. The monthly. So I know my chart's kind of a mess, especially when you look at it on this one, but like the weekly 9 moving average is sitting right around where we're testing. That's another thing we want to break through. Same idea is this 9 moving average on the monthly. If we could break through that, that's going to be good too. Right now we are below it. Let me also show you before we get out of here is the Dogecoin to Bitcoin chart. This was another thing that I was kind of looking at and watching the trends on this. So this chart is Dogecoin compared to Bitcoin. And if this chart is going down, then it's good for Bitcoin, or Bitcoin's doing better. If this chart starts going up, then Dogecoin is doing better. All in this area right here, it would have been better to be in Dogecoin because you would have made more money. And then as it goes down, you'd be better to be in Bitcoin because either Bitcoin's making more money or it's losing less money. So we watch the trends. So we have a top, we have a trend line right there. Excuse me. Then we have, let's pull this down. So if we break that trend line going to the upside, that's going to be a good signal. And then we also have, this is another trend that I've been looking at down here. So let's see, we had a top, bottom, bottom. We broke through that bottom. I thought when we broke through the bottom, then that's going to be a bearish signal pushing us to the downside. And we did kind of see that on the other chart. Whoops, I keep on doing something wrong. Okay. And then we started trending up a little bit, this little trend line right here. Then we broke it to the downside. Then we broke it going up again. And we've been getting green candles is my point. So let's go ahead and delete this one because this was in the past. We've already broken these trends basically, or we have already kind of it's already kind of shown us what it's doing. But as you can see right here, we have resistance giving us a downtrend. We were trending down, meaning Bitcoin was doing better. Now we're breaking through this resistance right here. And this is one of the other things that I've been waiting for to see if we can break through this resistance. Maybe that's going to mean that we're actually going to start fulfilling that falling wedge pattern because this is also on the daily time frame. So if we broke through right here, we're getting some green candles. It looks like Dogecoin is outperforming Bitcoin in the last couple days. If we can continue this and head up and maybe break through this, then maybe we can really start getting more confident on that higher target that I was talking about. It's possible though, like we have resistance right here and resistance right here giving us this trend line. It's possible that we come up to here and get rejected and start heading down or start kind of going sideways in this area here. But I think breaking through this trend right here is a good sign for Dogecoin because, like I said, these green candles this last couple days, Dogecoin has been outperforming Bitcoin. So I like watching this channel, or not this channel, this chart is Doge BTC on TradingView, and this one happens to be on Coinbase. So we broke through that trend, went to the upside. That seems like also another good sign that Dogecoin might be doing pretty decent. Let's see if we can push through this next trend line and start pushing up. If we could do that, then maybe we can start really getting more confident on that higher target on Dogecoin. Let's go back to Dogecoin. Maybe we can start getting, like if we break through that second trend line, maybe we can really get more confident on maybe like .394 and or even a bigger pump like we were just talking about, those other higher targets, those really bullish targets. So yeah, not promising anything though, guys. Like I said, like I told you what I did. I took profits here and and dollar cost averaging at these Fibonacci retracement levels. And in these areas over here, if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, they came in pretty handy. I bought, sold, bought, and actually, what was it? I bought, and then I started to sell, buy, buy. I don't know if I sold right there. I think I stopped trading in this area, but besides just buying the Fibonacci retracement levels going to the downside, and just if we're at these levels and I'm like, okay, this is a good time to like maybe to add to the position. But so yeah, I have a position at .185, .248, .294, .339, .394. So yeah, let's see if we could start, pushing back to the upside and getting back to these levels. Hopefully, and it doesn't take another 4 years for it to get a pop, and we can start moving back to the upside. But yeah, that's some of the things that I'm thinking and all the stuff that I'm watching and kind of paying attention to. Let me know what you guys are thinking though. If you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you want to watch the last video, check it out right here. And if you're new to trading, check out this playlist right here. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.